And you are live.
Okay, welcome back to House Education at 2:30 on Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. We are now going to talk about probably one of the biggest issues facing education today, drawing district lines. With a bill introduction, H37. Turn it over to the sponsor, introduce yourself and
Sure. Good afternoon, Representative Jim Harrison from the town of Chittenden. And I'm here to report on H37. And as you, I'm sorry, what happened?
Oh, I just pulled it up and say, it's a short form bill.
Yeah, I was just going to say, hopefully you've all had a chance to read this bill. It's also short on detail. And I did that for a purpose. First of all, I do not profess to know what the right district lines are. I do believe, I know you're going to be working all session on the best way to go forward. I wanted to put something on your table as an idea. I did this before knowing that there was another bill that talked about 25 districts. We've since had the governor's proposal for 5 districts. I didn't know of either of those, but I do believe 119 districts or whatever that number is total statewide is a lot. And 52 supervisory unions is a lot. Vermont is in total population about the size of Boston. I'm sure they don't have 52 supervisory unions, so or 119 school districts. So it just seems to me that at the very least, we can start by having a serious conversation about what the right number is and help save on some of the overhead, which is not the teachers in the classroom and other support staff that, you know, we're certainly going to have conversations about. But this, I think, would lead to some more streamlining of our total education makeup. Why did I pick CTEs, career technical education? They roughly, I think there's 17 statewide, but they roughly follow county areas of the state, and that makes some sense for a variety of reasons. You know, it would perhaps easier geographically to do the coordinating that you need to do in terms of schools, whether you do school choice in an area or necessary, and other issues related to that geographical area. Addition, there's been ongoing conversations in this building as to the actual funding of CTEs and how that all works with local school districts, especially if your CTE is in a different district and the money follows the student, and the district sending might feel like they're not getting, you know, they may even, in some cases, I'm not saying that they do, they might prefer to have the students stay in their own district because the funding stays there. And they certainly have certain fixed costs with operating facilities. But additionally, there may be an easier path going forward when a CTE is at space constraints or capacity in certain areas. Maybe there will be more of a coordination to say, you know what, the school over here has some capacity to, you know, put the students that are in this field of training or study, and we can do that easier rather than, you know, that's just a different bureaucracy. So that's my interest in putting it forward. I know you folks are working hard in a lot of different areas, but this is one that seems to have gotten some attention to looking at the number of school districts. And I don't profess to know what the number is. 119 is too many, in my view.
Do you know how it works in terms of CTE centers in Chittenden County? And do they all draw from the same area?
I'll just clarify that I'm from Rutland County.
Yeah.
Not the town of Chittenden, which is unrelated, but we have one in Rutland. It's the Stafford Technical Medical Center. I don't honestly know,
I'll
I'm
make
sure,
clarification.
yeah, right, I don't know. Do you have, maybe Representative Brady knows, do you have more than one?
There's-
Yeah,
Mm.
two, okay, yeah,
And,
and that may be appropriate in Chittenden County.
well, I'm thinking that.
Yeah.
Be appropriate, give
But-
the number.
Rutland County has been served by one, and it's an excellent facility and serves the community well, but sometimes they, with growing interest in a certain field, they run into capacity issues too, but it's hard to say, well, West Rutland has some capacity at their school, but it's a different school.
Do you want to weigh in at all as to whether you think 5 is too many or too few?
I don't, but it's a political question. I mean, arguably, you could say, 80,000 students, we should have one. And other people have proposed that before. I do think that's harder politically. And I know in the 5, our Rutland County is tied in, I think, with Bennington County. Bennington's a long ways away. And doesn't mean it can't be done. It's just, I don't know what the right answer is. That's why we have the smart minds around this table to look at that. I do think there's widespread agreement that we have too many, and maybe we're adding. I mean, even the superintendents I've talked to would probably agree. 52 supervisory unions is too many. That's a lot of superintendents and a lot of business managers, and I'm not saying it's all duplicative, but some of it is. And we need to be smart and be as efficient as we can. I think we all want that. I think.
Thank you. And thank you more so for kind of providing us a shell. So that we can do some forward.
You folks are going to write the details if you go in any direction, and I seriously wish you very well in that effort. So
Thank you.
thank you, and thank you for time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you join us just quickly? So for the committee to understand, this is the first time as a chair I've dealt with somebody introducing a short form bill. So I hadn't looked to see that it was short form, so I don't know.
I was
If
being sensitive to the workload.
Oh, it's good.
Let's
That's good. And I guess one of the questions is when one walks through a short form bill, does it take more than 30 seconds? Should you come over here for this conversation?
Bethany James, Office of Legislative Counsel. I'm at your disposal, but I am prepared to share my screen to show you a map with
That
the
would be
CTE
great.
centers on
Oh,
there,
great. Thank you.
as well as the board's rules, which are quite old, but they list all of the communities for the service regions. So,
Wow.
great. Would you like me to walk through the bill?
I think I.
So there's the bill, and we'll start with this. So this is the current technical education website. You can see all of those dots represent a CTE center, and when you hover over it, it highlights which one it is. And these are county lines. So you can see there are some counties with more than one CTE in it. And there are, well,
If you don't have,
Go.
any, they're right on the line.
yep, right on the line. I mean, I can pull up the address and we can figure that out if you really want to.
That's not it.
Those are, I assume those two are Linden and
Yes,
Yes,
St. J.
yes.
yes.
Just a quick question, because I'm pretty sure the Wyndham Regional Career Center, which is the Wyndham County one, the students, I think there's an agreement or some sort of agreement for the students in the Northeast Supervisory Union that they can go to the Springfield. So I'm, since that's happening, I'm just wondering how many of those there are.
So the service regions are determined by state board rules.
Got it.
And it literally just lists the school
Okay.
and the school districts
Okay.
that it serves. So I will send a link to Annie of both of these, so we don't have to walk through all of this right now. But I will note, avert your eyes while I scroll. The last updates to these rules were in 2002. So it is quite possible that what is happening on the ground is
Yeah.
different than what is in here. But the service regions by state law are required to be set in state board rules, and this is where they live. What's happening in the field, I don't know.
Fair, thank you.
Thank you. And that is all I have.
All right. Does anybody have any questions? This proposal sort of doesn't have any relation to CT.
Right.
Right.
It probably doesn't work because we've got rural counties with two CTE centers. So why would you divide that up into separate school districts? And then have like one for Chittenden County, probably two. But so those are just things to think about, but it's from a legislative process point of view, we can take this and do whatever we want to right now.
So can I ask for clarification what
Yeah.
you just said? So drawing, if I heard you right, drawing districts by county rather than CTE, you'd have, because this bill proposes to draw districts by CTE.
Yes, and all I was,
Not by county.
that's right. Yeah, and all I was pointing out was that you could see just in that crude map, some issues, like
Right.
Franklin County's got two CTE centers, so
And
therefore
there's-
two school districts.
And there's two, like Linden and St. Jay.
Right.
That
Right
are
near
on
each
the
other.
border, basically, between your Essex and your Caledonia.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for sending the link.